Aloha, everyone. Today is January's 23rd day of the 2021. I thought it was funny the other day that it was the 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century, and I'm over here thinking to myself, well, that is according to Gregory. I don't remember being asked growing up if I wanted to specifically use the Gregorian calendar, or I would like to go back to a archaic calendar such as the Julian calendar. But sure, yeah, it's January 23rd, 2021, according to the Gregorian calendar. And today I want to talk a little bit about my contemplations about retrogrades, especially Mercury. This time I want to talk about Mercury because he is the planet that most frequently goes in and out due to his speed. And he's referred to as the starry messenger. And so when I was thinking about thinking and communicating and just the process of organizing one's thoughts, organizing data and whatnot, it really began to dawn on me why it's so important that Mercury does his back and forth motion. Now, I've heard people talk about how part of what Mercury is doing during his retrograde is he's going back and getting specific information from the fixed stars before you can move forward again. And that was an interesting concept, and I was really delving into now why would you do that? Why would you do that? You already passed the fixed star, right? Like, why do you need to go back? And it occurred to me that sometimes when I'm reading something, maybe in the beginning, as the subject matter is being initially presented, I have whatever my presuppositional understanding of this subject matter is. I have that, of course. And hopefully, as I go along through this argument or proposal or whatever it is, this essay that I'm reading, hopefully I learn something along the way. And ideally, it would broaden my perspective and my understanding of the subject matter as a whole. And sometimes there have been essays that I've read where the first couple sentences the first couple sentences set the tone, or they create a bit of a shockwave impact, or they're alluding something about the conclusion, but they can't really, it's not making sense to you because you've just started reading that essay and their argument, and so you don't have all the facts. So by the time you get to the end and you read the conclusion and you're like, oh, okay. There have been a few times where I go back to that first chapter, that first paragraph, maybe those first imprinting, tone-setting sentences, and reread them with a new understanding, because my perspective and my knowledge information base has been broadened. And that seems to be, to me, one of the deeper intents behind Mercury's retrograde, is that sometimes we need to review something because our perspective has been broadened. And so we need to go back and look at the beginning of the argument with fresh eyes so that we can get that more organized, more authentic, more knowledgeable perspective. And also, there's another facet that I was considering when I was looking at this, is that Mercury is a communicator and a messenger, right? So some messages, especially in the digital age, we are, well, it depends on how your personal antenna is attuned, right? Some of us just all get messages at the same time. It works in that same sense, right? This digital messaging, mass messaging is just a copy of the solar energies that are being transmitted and the universal energies that are being transmitted, right? So, okay, let me just put it a little bit of acknowledgement there and how funny that is. But anyway, we can't all talk at the same time. There's an old saying along the lines of, I never learned anything while I was talking. So we need to take turns talking and going through our process when we're making decisions or exploring and contemplating, when we're having a conversation. Sometimes we need to go backwards and review certain things because someone else has realized that there are more keys, or someone else has realized that they have more to contribute, or in the meantime, something has happened that someone else needs to provide updates with regard to whatever a situation is, whatever it is that we're processing, communicating, attempting to get across, disseminate, organize the data. Come on, Mercury. So, like, for example, I live with roommates and we all take care of the animals here, including the chickens. And this is a very interesting video because I haven't heard any rooster crows. Regardless, all of us are not always present at the house at all times. So if something happens, like there's a status update with one of the chickens, not all of us can get updates at the same time, depending on what our daily schedule is. And so we need to communicate with each other regularly. And sometimes we do go back and forth because we watch the chickens' behaviors and activities at different times of the day. And we notice things at different times of the day. And things are happening in real time as we discuss them. And so things need to be reviewed because, again, it's all about making connections and having a greater understanding and getting clarity. I think clarity is really the main reason why Mercury goes back. Clarity of communication with others, getting updates. I mean, because he's so fast. He'll go fast backwards and he'll go right back forwards, even faster. I mean, he's like 20 steps forward, 15 steps back, 40 steps forward at double pace. I mean, it's interesting how quickly information can spread. So I hope you guys enjoyed my musing on the starry messenger of Mercury. Cheers.